Tokyo, Japan. The world's largest city, but better to consider it a collection of conjoined cities all jammed together. You can get on a train and ride for hours without viewing a break in the dense urban cityscape. Shops, offices, apartments stacked together for as far as the eye can see. It's a place where consumerism and the idea that what you buy can make you happy runs on hyperdrive, almost to the point of religion. A city as advanced as a space program and packed with the quirk and bizarro of an intergalactic saloon. On one hand, staunchy formal. On the other, cartoonishly silly. On one side, dry and conservative, and on the other, loosey-goosey. It's where the zen, the frenetic, and the funky coexist without batting an eye. But as the massive machine churns and the carnival goes on, are the citizens really enjoying the ride? The city has one of the highest suicide rates in the world, citizens bearing overwhelming workloads and grueling commutes. And to top it off, new studies say love, sex, and romance are at an all-time low. Is this the future of us all? Is our collective onward and upward progression pushing us right past the rose bushes? In a city that seems one step ahead, I've come to find the answer. This is Shinjuku, the busiest train station in the world. Almost 4 million passengers hustle through every day. There are more than 200 exits. So many people, so many chances to make a new friend. But look around. Very few people are talking to each other. And it's not just the station. On the streets, on the trains, in the restaurants, there's very little engagement. The MO seems to be pull out your electronic device and disappear into a bubble. Full bars and social media apps running, but are they really connected? And exactly where are all these people rushing to? According to statistics, they're not going to procreate. Just as I arrived, The Guardian has run an article causing a massive media splash entitled, "Why Have Young People in Japan Stopped Having Sex?" It points to a stagnant economy, challenging work conditions, and the psyche-scarring effects of the 2011 earthquake as libido-crushing factors. There's a suggestion being floated here that the Japanese really aren't into intimacy anymore. I'm not so sure that's true. I think on a genetic level, as humans, we all need it. But in lean times, we find different techniques to fill in the void. Cats, dogs, computers, and televisions are standard global options. But in Japan, they've gotten a wee bit more creative. To explore the deep end of that creativity, I'm headed to a neighborhood on the other side of town. Problem is, the other side of town in Tokyo is more than a hop, skip, and a jump. It's like a futuristic labyrinth. Along my bumbling path, I pass through Shibuya. And as I'm rolling on the theme of connection, there is a novelty here worth a quick look. Shibuya Station. Interesting story. Back in the day, a guy used to come here all the time to go to work. His dog would walk with him to the gates, then wait for him till he came back from work, and they'd walk home together again. For years, this routine went on until one day, the aging man passed away at his office. The poor dog waited at the gate, but his master never returned. Then day after day, for the next 9 years, the dog kept returning to Shibuya Station right as the train arrived, anticipating his owner's tardy arrival, until he too dropped dead. If that story doesn't get you misty, nothing will. And if you need to rendezvous with someone, tell them you'll see them at Hachiko, the most popular meeting spot in the city, if not the world. Back into the subways and trains that service 503 stations in the city. The immensity of the whole thing can be truly staggering at first. But if you can get to any one of these stations, you're in the grid. And once you're in the grid, you can find your way home. Just might take a while. Finally, I make it to my destination. A neighborhood designed around the whims of a fascinating subculture, the Otaku. If you like miniature dolls and robots, electronics, video games, girls in maid outfits, teenage girl bands, and heaps of manga, you too might be an otaku. I'm here in Akihabara, a neighborhood in Tokyo built entirely around the otaku, or the nerds. But that's not an insult. These people embrace their identity, and I'm about to go nerd crazy. But it gets lonely in the big cities, so before I go, I need some company, and I know just where to look. I'm a firm believer in never knocking something until you try it. And you don't really know a man until you step into his shoes. I grab a couple tickets for a teen sensation band and then go looking for an otaku buddy to share the fun with. Problem. Even with the concert ticket bait, I can't get a single otaku to hang with me. They're notoriously shy, and perhaps I can be a bit overbearing at times. I even helped this brother out of public shame for the rest of the day. Dancing. But you think he wants to hang with me? No. Oh, wait, a Caucasian otaku. This should be an easier nut to crack. What? What am I? Chopped liver? Dating sims have been around since the mid-'80s, but nothing took the otaku market by storm like a game called Love Plus. It sold over 240,000 copies when it debuted in 2009 on the Nintendo DS. Now it's spread across several platforms, including, quite conveniently, my cell phone. There is no said conclusion to the game, but rather the idea is to seduce and then keep happy your new virtual girlfriend. One way to do that is to take her on activities. Your phone utilizes the GPS map features and cameras to ensure your labors of love are legitimate. Once I figure out how to work this dang thing. Risking losing her to another man, I decide asking some advice from an expert might make things a little smoother.
Moshi deito hoshi nani shimasu.
This guy clearly knows how to handle a virtual girlfriend. Nah, I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. One more dating expert.
New date, atarashi date, hoshi. Okay.
Now that I got that figured out, let's go have some fun. An obvious first stop would be a manga shop. Akihabara has heaps of manga, something for every taste. And although it would be easy to consider this a straight-up misogynistic scene, there are some female otaku as well, and they got them covered. But I need something a little more action-Jackson. Enter the multi-story mega arcades. The home console pretty much destroyed video game arcades back in America. But in Japan, they still thrive by incorporating unique game-playing experiences and the extremely popular claw crane type of games. Neither of which I'm very good at. Okay, I suck. But my new girlfriend is watching, so I need to put on a good showing. Sorry, babe. Maybe I'm getting a little long in the tooth, but a lot of these games seem too busy for my taste. Now this is more like it. Welcome to Super Potato, which should be called the Video Game Garden of Eden, or better yet, the origin of video game species. Here, 3 floors of vintage goodness have the golden oldies covered. If you thought these Super Nintendo game controllers were old school, check this out. That's Atari, baby. Oh, pow, pow. Memories. Every aisle is a memorial to the countless hours my generation and those before and after me have sacrificed on the altar of game consoles. Super Potato is a bit tricky to find, but it should be an icon on every tourist map. Anyone who went through a gaming stage of their life should make a visit to pay homage and feel that bittersweet rush of nostalgia. Unfortunately, the cherry on top portion of the experience has now perished.
Before, right in this spot, there was a giant throne comprised entirely of video game cartridges. The big earthquake, which caused the tsunami, also knocked over the throne and it cracked into pieces. This is unfortunate because I think anybody who's completed a video game, defeated the big boss, and seen the final sequence deserves a seat in that throne, just for a minute.
Who knows? Perhaps by your visit, the throne will have been repaired and replaced. If so, cop a squat for me, you lucky duck.